even if there was antibiotic in that milk, it gets disintegrated because of the bacterial action on the milk. So it is easy to digest and you don't have the harmful effects, you only have the beneficial things which were there. So that is why we suggest have buttermilk, curd or any product of milk which is made after fermentation, like ghee or butter also you can have, but not something which is directly made from milk, like koa or like paneer is not advisable. So these are the replacements. A few small tips for improving the mother's milk. So first step would be try to improve mother's milk if she is lactating. Only if that is also not possible, switch over to plant-based milk for the baby. So eating methi leaves or dill weed, these are helpful for improving lactation. Also having hing or garlic. Amongst grains, bajra stimulates milk production. It also improves the quality of milk. And if all these don't work, castor seeds. The castor oil which we apply to the hair, the seed of that castor, inside if you peel it, it will be a white seed. Outside it's a black seed with a shell. Open that black layer, there's a white seed. Just 4 to 5 of those seeds you can eat twice or thrice in a week. If the mother is lactating, it will improve the quality and quantity of the milk. Not just more milk, good quality of the milk so that the baby develops and grows well. So these are a few small tips for that. So now when I say all this, still people think, okay, forget A1 milk, we'll not buy. If we have our own cow, if we have a desi cow, at least then we should be able to drink milk because we are so used to it. But then even that is not good for us. So let me explain why. Yesterday we dropped a point about protein when we were speaking. There is animal protein and plant-based protein. I said that animal protein is not good for the human body. So let me justify this statement. So be it milk or be it meat, when we take in animal protein into our body, what happens? The animal protein acts as an antigen. So what is an antigen? Any substance which when inside our body causes a trigger for our body's immune response is an antigen. Following? So a substance inside our body makes our body respond by producing what we call as antibody. Not necessarily a foreign substance, usually a foreign substance like bacteria or virus. But in this case, what were we speaking about? The animal protein which we consume. So what happens? This animal protein is like a foreign body. It's not digested properly, and when it enters our system, our body starts producing antibodies for this antigen. Okay, I'm just drawing this as a representation. This is not exactly the shape of antigen-antibody complex. Just for understanding, I'm drawing it like this so that you understand that for every antigen, a specific antibody is formed, and they are like lock and key mechanism. They have to fit into each other. They are very specific. For each antigen, body forms different kinds of antibodies which will correctly fit. For that key, you need that specific lock. So what happens? Antigen, antibody forms, they combine together, then body recognizes that this substance is harmful for me and it will attack it, cause inflammation and try to remove it from the body, destroy it, get it out of the body. This is what happens normally if a bacteria, if a virus comes into your system. But when we consume animal protein, the same kind of response is launched. But now what happens? This antibody is ready and formed. But then what happens? It is roaming around in our bloodstream. Our human protein is very similar to this animal protein against which this antibody was formed. We are also animal. What we consumed was also animal protein. So that animal protein and our own body's protein is very much similar. So this antibody gets confused. It now starts attacking your own body cells, thinking it is a foreign body. So what does that result in? It causes autoimmune diseases. So what does autoimmune disease mean? Just to understand, you can think that instead of the Indian soldiers who are standing on the border, when they hear the signal fire during a war, instead of firing towards the enemy's territory, they turn and start killing Indian soldiers themselves. That is what an autoimmune disease is. And I'm trying to explain how they are getting triggered in our body. Because we are constantly drinking milk, constantly eating eggs and meat in our body, we are giving that substances as an antigen for the body to produce antibodies. Antibodies have been prepared and are roaming around in the blood, and when they come in contact with our own protein, which is very similar to the animal protein which we have eaten, they start attacking your own body cells. Now this can happen anywhere in the body. If it happens in the joints, we call it as rheumatoid arthritis. If it happens in the kidneys, we call it as SLE or systemic lupus erythematosus. Each part of your body, you can have a different name for the possible autoimmune diseases. It can happen in the salivary glands, so that the saliva secretion becomes less and you have a dry mouth, speaking is difficult, swallowing is difficult. It can happen in the tear glands of your eye. Production of the tears is reduced, so you have dry eyes, irritation, burning and excessive blinking. It can happen in the thyroid gland. It's called autoimmune thyroiditis. The thyroid gland becomes swollen and there are hormone secretions are also getting disturbed. Even without taking medicine, just stopping the exposure starts their improvement healing process. And along with that, of course, all our protocols, if they follow, many of them are completely reversing rheumatoid arthritis, SLE, etc. So even the so-called incurable conditions are reversible when you do the right thing. So we are giving our body unnatural substances, things it's not supposed to be exposed to, and inviting these autoimmune diseases.